Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Ask Joy. Demand for resale HDB has increased significantly due to delays in BTO projects and shortage of manpower in the construction sector, which in turn caused the resale HDB prices to go up. A lot of HDBs are selling at high prices right now, and paying cash over valuation is pretty much a norm. But do you know there are HDB estates where prices did not move? Today, I'll be sharing with you why prices in this estate have not moved and how buyers can benefit from this location. This is Redhill HDB Estate. This is Block 75A Redhill Road, and it sits in a cluster which MOP in 2010. It is surrounded by a few younger HDB clusters which MOP in 2006 and 2011. The rest of the HDB in this area were mostly built in the 90s. If we focus on the supply of new 5-room HDB, there obviously isn't a massive amount because there were not a lot of BTOs to begin with, and secondly, there were not a lot of BTOs meeting the 5-year MOP mark, which is why the 5-room HDB managed to maintain its sale price at the 800,000 mark between year 2012 to year 2019, despite 2 rounds of cooling measure. Demand was low, supply was low, so price didn't move much. But recently, there was a slight increase in price. Prices of the 5-room HDB in this area have crossed the 900,000 mark. That's because demand increased, yet supply stayed low. The next wave of 5-room HDB supply will come from Cityville at Henderson, which is due to MOP in 2023. But I do not think that prices of the current 5-room HDB will be greatly impacted because Cityville has only a total of 135 units of 5-room. It is not a huge number and not all units will be on sale. There is another HDB estate which behaves the same way as Redhill, and that is Bukebato. This is part of the Bukebato HDB estate. This HDB cluster is known as Good View Gardens. It is a 10 minutes walk to Bukit Gombak MRT. The HDB blocks here were built a few months apart, MOP somewhere between 2009 to 2010. No doubt this cluster is surrounded by a lot of HDB, but those were all built in the 80s. If we were to zoom in at one of the blocks in Goodview Gardens, you will notice that 5-room HDB prices have recovered. It is currently transacting at a price it used to sell 8 years ago. Redhill and Bukebato are just 2 of the many HDB estates where prices are seen increasing due to limited supply. If you own a HDB in these estates today, please consider selling because I'm very certain that the current market condition will work in your favor. But for buyers, do look out for estates with a lot of supply and you will be in for a good bargain. One such estate you can consider is Punggol. As you know, Punggol is a new town with a very consistent supply of HDBs meeting the 5-year MOP year after year. In this cluster alone, the supply of new 5-room HDB is massive. Blocks next to Cove LRT were the first batch of 5-room HDB to meet the 5-year MOP mark in 2007. The following year, 6 new clusters were eligible for sale. And in 2009, 4 new clusters of 5-room surfaced for sale too. And in 2010, blocks next to Kadalor LRT reached its MOP. Then, the new supply stopped. 2017 was the start of second wave of blocks meeting MOP. These blocks began to MOP in 2017, 2018, and 2019 respectively. And these are the blocks which MOP this year. And of course, there will be more in the upcoming years. If you were to take any random blocks in this cluster which met the MOP before the massive supply came in, you will notice that prices are either struggling to pick up or the profit gain is minimum as compared to areas like Redhill or Bukebato. Because there's simply too much supply entering the resale market. Older estates like Bedok and Ang Mo Kio are less likely to be affected by new MOP blocks because there is a huge price gap between the old HDB and the newer ones. Take Bedok's Belvia DBSS for example. Upon MOP in 2019, Belvia's 5-room units were sold at an average of 800,000, but the 5-room HDBs surrounding Belvia, which were built in the 1980s, was sold between the price of 400,000 to 600,000. That's a price difference of at least 200,000. To sum it up, it's all about the supply and demand from both macro and micro perspective. HDB prices have been so stable since 2012 due to cooling measures imposed by the government, which were meant to curb the demand. If cooling measures were to kick in with an increase in land sales, prices are likely to drop because supply will increase but demand will be greatly reduced. So I'm just going to wrap it up here. Hope this episode has given you some sort of guidance on how to choose wisely in the current housing market. If you are unsure, please drop me a message. Till then, remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel or turn on the notification button on your Instagram or Facebook for the next one. See ya!